planning the show a little earlier, I thought I'd be talking about the Israeli attack on the Houthis. This after the United States has been, for 3-4 weeks now, attacking the Houthis supposedly nonstop, every day, all the time. And yet, it seemed like yesterday's Israeli attack on the Houthis had a massive impact. And we'll talk about that. But of course, then a couple of hours ago, Donald Trump basically declared that the Houthis, announced that the Houthis have capitulated. So we'll talk about that as well. So, yeah, I mean, yesterday, thank you, Silvanos. Thank you, Vadim. Thanks, Silvanos. $50 sticker. Really appreciate that. The Israeli Air Force yesterday, 30 planes, 2,000 kilometers from Israel, attacked a number of targets within Yemen that belong to the Houthis, including the main airport. After telling the Houthis that they were going to attack the airport, how's that for Israeli, I don't know, what do you want to call it? But anyway, telling them we're going to attack the airport, evacuate, get the civilian airplanes out of there. They attacked the airport today and destroyed whatever civilian airplanes were there. I think there were 3 planes there. They were all destroyed. The terminal was destroyed. A number of the buildings destroyed. They made basically the airport inoperable. The airport is inoperable. In addition, the Israelis struck a number of power plants, a big cement factory, which is a big source of revenue for the Houthis. They're striking economic targets of the Houthi regime rather than just military targets that are moved around all the time and where there seemingly is an endless supply of military equipment, which is what the United States has been done. Now, supposedly the U.S. participated in this attack on the Houthis as well. Certainly the United States is assisting Israel with maybe refueling, maybe some intelligence in terms of attacking Yemen. I'm not sure exactly what the United States is supplying, but I'm sure it is, given the distance. This attack was pretty devastating. And this, of course, after the Houthis had launched a ballistic missile towards Israel the other day that landed in just outside or just within the boundaries of Israel's international airport. This was Israel's retaliation. This was expected to be the first phase of Israel's retaliation. It was expected that Israel would continue retaliating and continue slowly devastating the Houthis. And again, I think the strategy has to be ultimately to encourage Saudi Arabia and encourage the other parties in Yemen to take out the Houthis on the ground and to reoccupy that land. That is the only long-term solution to the problems of the Houthis. But that is not how Trump rolls. That is not how the Trump administration does foreign policy. Not at all. It turns out that over the last few days, Witkoff, Trump's chief capitulator, we'll call him capitulator, should be negotiator, but capitulator in chief, was in Aden, which has been mediating between the United States and the Houthis, and it seems that a deal was actually struck. It's not exactly clear the nature of the deal, but it does seem like, effective immediately, the Houthis will stop targeting commercial and naval shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. I assume that includes all flagged ships, including Israeli ships, but we don't know. We're not sure. This, of course, was all agreed to this morning after the Israeli attack, right? In addition, does the deal include the Houthis stopping to launch ballistic missiles at Israel? Unclear. Trump didn't mention that. This is all coming about in his press conference with Carney. He disclosed all this information. But in addition, it includes, of course, that the United States will immediately stop all bombing of the Houthis, and that will all stop. One of the targets, I guess, last night was also fuel storage infrastructure that the Houthis have, and again, the power plants, the cement plant, and importantly, Sana's International Airport. Israel and the United States seem to finally get serious about the Houthis, and they strike a deal. And I get it. We got what we wanted. Opening up the shipping lanes, that's good, right? That's what the U.S. is there for, protecting the shipping lanes. And maybe the Houthis will stop sending ballistic missiles to Israel. That'll be fantastic. That'll be great. But the reality is that from a Houthis perspective, they now know what they have to do to get the world all spun around. What they are going to do, I mean, think of the Houthis as, agreeing to a ceasefire. A ceasefire in which, is there any doubt, the Houthis will rearm themselves, will reestablish the supply lines with Iran, will maybe rebuild the port that Israel has struck and the Americans, I think, have struck over time. They'll gain new fuel depots. They'll, more weapons. They'll build up their infrastructure. They'll figure out how to better protect themselves for the next round. And does anybody doubt that there will be a next round? It could be a year from now. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 7 years from now. But that's the point. The point of U.S. foreign policy and for the most part, Israeli foreign policy and military policy is to kick the can down the road. And the United States has achieved its goals after the Israelis got serious in the short run. They have not achieved their goals in the long run. And the long-term goal should have been the complete dismantling of the Houthis and the evisceration, the complete annihilation of their capacity to block the Red Sea in the future. And that, of course, has not happened. But that's because Trump likes cutting deals. It's about the deal. It's not about strategic interests of the United States long term. It's about whether Trump can say, yeah, we got a deal and we won and we got a concession and the Houthis surrendered. The Islamists know how to play the long game. We in the West, our time horizon politically is maybe 4 years. Maybe. 1 second. So while I'm happy that shipping will now go through the Suez Canal, the Egyptians must be very happy. It costs them nothing, and Europeans will be happy because they get their shipping cheaper now. Ships don't have to go around the African Horn. I guess the Israelis will be happy because they get their ships coming up through the south into Eilat or through the Suez Canal into the ports that Israel has on the Mediterranean. And of course, if the Houthis stop the ballistic missiles into Israel, that'll be a huge relief. And, for me, among other things, it'll be great. I was looking, maybe I have to go to Israel like in the next few days, maybe. And I was checking out flights, and basically all the companies have canceled flights into Israel because the Houthis were lobbing bombs onto the airport. So the only company reliably flying into Israeli airports is El Al, the Israeli company. And of course, they're booked up. You can't get a seat on any flight, no matter which city you're trying to leave from, because everybody switched from the Delta, United, British Airways, Austrian Air, whatever, to El Al, and they've taken all the seats. So it's done. So, I'm pretty happy because the airport will probably open up in a sense that it's open, but the foreign companies will all start flying again, and flights to Israel will become significantly cheaper and more available. So it's going to be interesting. Although I do think, and reports out of Israel suggest that the Israelis are really ticked off. They're really angry. They're really unhappy, and that is because they have every incentive now to deal as big of a blow, as serious of a blow as possible to the Houthis. They were getting there, and they really made them suffer. And it turns out that Trump announced this during his press conference with Connie without letting the Israelis know in advance. So the first the Israelis knew of a ceasefire is from the internet. So pretty insane. I'm sure the Israelis are unhappy, primarily being that they were, that they let them know in this way. And it's still, again, not clear whether this deal incorporates not sending ballistic missiles to Israel. We will find out if indeed it does or it does not. So let's wait and see. And wait and see how this deal plans out. And in a few years, when the Houthis block the Red Sea again, I will be here, right here. Maybe the background will be different. Maybe I'll be in a different place. Who knows? But I will be here telling you all, I told you so. I told you so. Which I've had way too many opportunities to indulge in I told you so. Because I'm actually not happy that so many of my negative predictions have come true. I'm sorry. I'm just reading something Trump just said, and because I'm watching this, people are posting clips from the Trump thing with Connie. We'll get to them. At the end, we'll do a segment of best of Trump. You can categorize it Trump derangement syndrome manifest or whatever. Why Iran doesn't like Trump will have, because these clips are amazing. They're just amazing in terms of what he says. You should watch Trump's interactions with the press. They are so revealing about what he thinks, what he believes, and how he thinks, or how he doesn't think, as the case may be.